we have political persuasion specialist and campaign strategist Alan Herman via Zoom. Good morning.
Good morning, Alan. Thank you very much for joining us. It's a pleasure. Your audio, Alan.
Yeah, nakamute po.
There you go.
There you go.
Anyway, Alan, thank you for joining us. And I'd like to ask you about this recent meeting between Sara Duterte and Leni Robredo. Now, was this a calculated move by Sara Duterte to try to win over the pink votes, or was this a mutual move by both camps?
Well, I would say it's obviously 100% calculated in terms of intentionality and, being able to engineer it so much so that, as Attorney Barry said, they were sort of put on the spot and had no choice but to receive the sitting vice president. So in as much as that's concerned, I'm almost 100% certain. Now, in terms of the motive behind it, of course, only VP Sara herself knows exactly why she did it. It can range from anything from closure to asking for advice to so many. I mean, it runs the gamut of possibilities. But for me, I'm not sure if it's necessarily a move to court the pink vote. I think it's really more of instilling doubt, instilling question marks in the head of her now proclaimed opponents. The Marcos and the Romualdez camp. I think it was more of that. I think it's more of getting them to really scratch their heads and to wonder out loud and to be put in that uncomfortable spot of what did they talk about? What the heck is going on here? Did she spill any so-called secrets? Well, what's going on? So I think that it was more of that than necessarily courting the pink votes.
Yeah, but is it possible also yung sa narrative naman na malihis yung issue, 'di ba, dito kay Vice President Sara Duterte regarding the budget deliberation, kaya ginawa niya ito? Is that also a possibility?
Alam mo, Ma'am Angel, that is the world we operate in, di ba? It's really a matter of yung word na ginamit mo is lihis, to divert. In this case, I'm not sure if that is a good tactic because this was, I mean, if you really wanted to divert attention away from a pressing issue against yourself, the best way actually to do that is to lay low, what we call bunker mode, and to amplify other tangential issues around it, not necessarily about yourself. But what she did by doing this, again, we're having the fact that I'm talking to you and the Brunchies and all of our viewers and listeners is already testament to the fact that if she wanted to divert attention away from herself, well, this was probably not the best way to do it.
Yeah, Alan, I'd like to ask, we spoke to Senator Trillanes last week and he said he called out VP Leni and an explanation namang ibang mga on both sides. They're saying, why will you call out VP Leni when Senator Trillanes himself was trying to make an alliance between the Marcoses and the Yellows? So is this the counter of VP Sara in time for the filing of certificate of candidacies in hopes to get their numbers up? Kasi as you see, Alan, yung mga numbers ng mga Dutertes have been steadily declining this past few months.
Well, it is not, again, the intentionality might not be it, but the offshoot, it would be a very, very happy offshoot for the Duterte camp if they're able to get the still substantial votes in support of the so-called pinks and yellows, no? Kasi whatever happens, you're still talking about 30% of the electorate that she was able to mobilize last elections against a gargantuan, perhaps never to be seen in our political history type of alliance. In Marcos Duterte union, the Uniteam, di ba? The mighty, formidable, unprecedented Uniteam. And VP Leni still was able to get 15 million votes. So we're still talking about 30% of the electorate. If the Duterte camp is able to tap into that, maybe get even a percentage of that, that's definitely a happy circumstance for them. Game theory wise, but again, if we're applying game theory to this kind of maneuver, we're not sure if that's the outcome that will necessarily come about because yung mga ibang naman nagalit. The so-called hardline dilawans, di ba? Not to use the term derogative in a derogative way, no, but yung mga hardline dilawans nagalit naman, ba't tinanggap mo yan? Bakit mo pinapasok sa bahay mo? But again, as I know, VP Leni perhaps the same way Attorney Barry knows her, she really will always take the high road. Radikal ang magmahal, di ba? As she always says.
Oo. So do you think na tama naman yung ginawa ni former Vice President Leni Robredo in receiving Vice President Sara Duterte?
In that, I will definitely disagree with my senator, one of my senator idols, Sentry, Senator Trillanes. Siya, galit na galit siya. Ako, I think she did the right thing, absolutely. I think it would have created a multitude of other problems if she had said no to that meeting or lumabas yung balita na papunta na si VP Sara doon tapos tinanggihan niya.
Right.
I think that would have said more about VP Leni than it would have, kasi yung optics noon sa Pilipino ang sama eh. Alam mo, tayo Pilipino culturally we're wired that way. Diba, nagkukumbaba na yung tao, papunta na sa'yo, pinupuntahan ka na sa tahanan mo, tapos hinindian mo.
Yeah.
Iba yung optic. So I think VP Leni, in character, I don't think she was playing a role. I don't think she was doing it disingenuously or tactically. It's just who she is. That's really who she is and how I know her at least.
Yeah, I'd like last question sa akin, Alan. No? We all know kasi election na and VP Leni has declared her intent to run for mayor sa hometown niya. Ngayon, I'd like to ask, she is being dubbed also as a new kingmaker in the politics. You have you have former President Gloria Macapagal-Oroy. You also have Erap Magic. Do you think she'll still have this impact in these coming elections considering na watak na ang Uniteam?
Babalikan ko yung term na ginamit ko just a few seconds ago na yung game theory. Pag in-apply mo kasi yun, ano yan eh, what we call a Mexican standoff, when the two main players, the adversaries, are engaging in mutually assured destruction, so to speak, as the Marcos and Duterte camps are doing. It is the ones in the periphery that will rise. So you're looking out for the Tulfos, you're looking out for the resurgence of the Leni camp. You're looking for the outliers na baka may lumabas pa by 2027. So sila ang nagbe-benefit pag yung mutually assured destruction ng two key players ang pinag-uusapan, yung mga naka-popcorn mode, yan yung mga aangat. So the answer wow, I took a really long-winded way to answer your question, but the answer is absolutely yes. Yes.
Parang ano lang, Alan, parang Game of Thrones lang.
Yeah.
Oo, merong Westeros, merong nandiyan si Cersei Lannister. Kumpletos tayo dito. Triple A tayo ngayon, by the way, di ba? Si
Right.
Angelo, si Miss Angel, tsaka si Alan.
Oy.
Oo,
So,
Triple A, pwede.
So dapat, because of that, kailangan bumalik ka at mag-guest ka
Yes.
ulit dito. May AAA segment tayo.
Oo, kasi wala na tayong oras but we have so much questions
oo.
pa. So sa susunod sana, you're still available. But for the meantime, maraming salamat sa iyo. That was political persuasion specialist and campaign strategist, Alan Herman. Thank you, sir.